Welcome to our lesson on ecosystems. An ecosystem is all the living and non-living things in one area. The living things are plants, animals, and other organisms. The non-living things are water, sunlight, air, and soil. Each living thing is an individual. You are an individual, so is a clover plant, so is a monkey. Individuals of the same kind living in an area make up a population. A lawn might have a population of clover plants. A forest may have a population of monkeys. Members of a population do not have to live together. They may just live in the same area. All the garter snakes in a meadow are one population. Gopher snakes in the same meadow are a different population. Each kind of grass growing in the meadow is a population too. Some plants and animals can live in more than one kind of ecosystem. Red-winged blackbirds live in wetlands, but they can also live in other ecosystems too. Other plants and animals can only live in certain places. One bird, the willow flycatcher, makes its nest only in willow trees. This means that it can't live in ecosystems without willow trees. The willow flycatcher used to live all over California. However, many willow trees have been cut down to make room for new buildings. Because the birds now have fewer places to nest, there are fewer willow flycatchers in the state today. A group of individuals is called a population. A group of populations living in the same place is called a community. You live in a community with other populations of living things. Your community might include birds, squirrels, insects, trees, and grass. Death Valley is the hottest, driest place in North America. You might not expect to find many living things forming a community in such a place, yet more than 1,000 plant populations live there. More than 20 of these only live in Death Valley. This desert community includes at least 5 populations of bats. It also has 3 populations of rabbits and 4 populations of squirrels. You might spot mice and rats from as many as 18 different populations. You may also see large animals in Death Valley. They include coyotes, foxes, burros, bighorn sheep, and mountain lions. All of these plants and animal populations are adapted to survive in the hot, dry desert. As you can see, a tide pool looks nothing like the community in Death Valley. The population in Death Valley must be able to survive with little water. The populations in the tidal pool must be able to live in water when the tide is in. They must also be able to live in wet sand when the tide is out. Plants and animals can't survive without the non-living parts of their ecosystems. These non-living parts are water, soil, sunlight, and air. Climate is a combination of non-living things. It includes the amounts of rainfall and sunlight that an area receives. It also includes the pattern of air temperatures during the year. A large area may have similar climates and ecosystems. Such an area is called a biome. The taiga, desert, and rainforest are kinds of biomes. Changes in non-living parts of an ecosystem or a biome can affect all living parts. For example, too little rain causes many plants to wilt and die. Then the animals that eat those plants don't have enough food. Too much rain can cause flooding. This can kill both plants and animals. Without the non-living parts of an ecosystem, there would be no living parts. Sunlight. Plants need sunlight to produce food. Where trees shade the ground, not many other plants can grow. Water. Almost all living things need water. Plant roots absorb water, and animals drink it. Soil. Most plants need soil to grow. The kind of soil in an ecosystem is one of the things that determine what kinds of plants grow there. To sum it up, each ecosystem has its own set of living and non-living parts, and an ecosystem can be as huge as a desert or as small as the space under a rock. The ecosystem under this rock even has a climate. If the climate is in Northern California, that climate might be cool and wet. If the rock is in Southern California, the climate might be warm and dry.